Trust is a luxury I can't afford, Layla, Karim muttered, hunched over a map spread across their tiny kitchen table. His pen scratched across the paper, charting the labyrinthine alleys of Tangier's Medina. Layla coughed, a dry, rattling sound. Especially not after what happened. Karim, Layla said, her voice weak. It's been years. You need to let it go. She placed a hand on his shoulder. He flinched. Let it go. He spun around, the map crinkling in his grip. They let my knee go, like I was nothing. They made a mistake. You made a mistake. It's over. She sank onto a stool, her face pale. He scoffed. Over? We're barely surviving, Layla. We're living in this box, eating scraps. That's not over. That's a constant reminder. We'll get by, Layla said, though her voice lacked conviction. We always do. Karim slammed his fist on the table, making Layla jump. He snatched up the map, rolled it tight. We need more than get by, Layla. We need a chance. A real chance. He stalked out, slamming the door. Later, back in the apartment, Karim ran a hand over the smooth wood of an antique desk he'd recently acquired. A bargain, he'd thought. A chance to bring a little beauty into their drab lives. Now, tracing the intricate carvings, he felt a faint click. A section of the desk shifted, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside, stacks of documents, yellowed photographs, and letters bound with faded ribbon. Layla entered, clutching a crumpled piece of paper. Karim, I tried again. They won't give us another loan. She looked up, saw the open compartment. What's that? He didn't answer, his gaze fixed on a photograph of a prominent businessman, a man he recognized from the news. The accompanying documents detailed shady dealings, offshore accounts, enough to ruin the man's career. Karim felt a flicker of something dark, something dangerous, ignite within him. Karim? Layla asked, her voice laced with concern. He closed the compartment, the click echoing in the silence. Our chance, Layla. Our chance to finally get what we deserve. What are you talking about? This desk, he said, tapping the wood. It's more than it seems. Layla frowned. We should sell it. It could pay off our debts. He shook his head. No, this is our future. Karim, that doesn't make sense. He turned away, already formulating a plan. He wouldn't tell Layla the details, not yet. Just trust me, he said, his voice tight. The next day, Karim slipped a carefully worded note into the businessman's briefcase. A simple message, a veiled threat, a demand for a meeting. The businessman, pale and sweating, met Karim in a dimly lit cafe. You have no proof, the businessman stammered, his hand trembling as he reached for his glass of water. Karim leaned forward, his voice low. I have enough to ruin you. The man's face crumpled. He agreed to Karim's demands. Leaving the cafe, Karim bumped into a woman. Elegant, sharp eyes, a knowing smile. Interesting meeting, she said, her voice smooth as silk. Mr. Benali. Karim tensed. Who are you? Yasmin, a collector of unique items. Her gaze lingered on the briefcase Karim carried. I believe we have something in common. Karim hesitated, then decided to take a chance. I acquired an antique desk recently. It might interest you. Yasmin's smile widened. I'm sure it would. Back at the apartment, Layla confronted Karim. I saw you with that man, Karim. The businessman. What did you do? He tried to brush her off. Nothing you need to worry about. Don't lie to me, she pleaded, her voice trembling. I know you, Karim. Something's wrong. He sighed, then relented. He told her about the documents, the blackmail, the money. Layla stared at him, her eyes wide with disbelief. Karim, this is wrong, she whispered. This isn't you. It's what we have to do, he insisted. It's our only way out. The next day, Karim met Yasmin at her antique shop, a dimly lit space filled with treasures from another era. Yasmin examined the desk, her fingers tracing the same carvings Karim had explored. This is quite a find, she murmured, her gaze meeting Karim's. I'm willing to pay handsomely for it. Karim shook his head. I'm not selling. Yasmin raised an eyebrow. I can be very persuasive. Karim told her about the other documents, The other secrets he held. Yasmin's eyes glittered. A partnership, then, she purred. We can help each other. Karim agreed, feeling a knot of unease in his stomach. Later, while tracking a new target, Karim ran into Omar, a former colleague from his cartography days. Omar, now a successful businessman, expressed surprise at Karim's current state. You were brilliant, Karim, Omar said, shaking his head. What happened? Karim shrugged, bitterness twisting his gut. Life happened. Omar offered Karim a job at his charitable foundation, a chance to use his skills for good. Karim scoffed. Good doesn't pay the bills, Omar. Layla, meanwhile, found herself drawn to a small tea house, tucked away in a quiet corner of the Medina. Aisha, the owner, a woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile, offered Layla a cup of mint tea. Layla confided in Aisha about her worries, about Karim's increasingly reckless behavior. Aisha listened patiently, then offered a piece of advice. Sometimes, she said, the truest path is the one we fear the most. Karim continued his blackmail scheme, growing bolder with each success. The money flowed in, but the guilt gnawed at him. He bought Layla new clothes, medicine, but her eyes still held a deep sadness. One rainy afternoon, Karim saw Yasmin meeting with Rashid, the corrupt police officer. They exchanged a briefcase, a knowing look passing between them. Karim felt a chill run down his spine. He realized he'd made a mistake trusting Yasmin. He confronted her, demanding answers. Yasmin laughed, her voice cold. You were a useful pawn, Karim, but now you've outlived your usefulness. Karim felt a surge of anger. He threatened to expose her. Yasmin simply smiled. Try it, she said, her eyes glinting. And your sister will pay the price. Karim froze, his blood running cold. He realized he'd walked into a trap of his own making. He'd achieved a false victory, a hollow success that had cost him everything. He stalked away, the echo of Yasmin's laughter grating on his nerves. He needed to think, to plan. His feet led him to Aika's tea house. The aroma of mint and spices calmed him, a familiar comfort in the swirling chaos. Trouble, Karim? Aisha asked, her eyes holding a depth of understanding he couldn't comprehend. He nodded, sinking onto a stool. I've made a mess of everything. Aisha placed a steaming glass of tea before him. Every map has its dead ends, Karim. The skill is in finding a new route. There is no new route, Karim said, his voice heavy with despair. Yasmin, she has Layla. She'll hurt her if I... She holds a piece of your map, Karim, but not the whole thing. You are the cartographer. You draw the lines. Her words sparked a flicker of defiance within him. He was the cartographer. He controlled the lines, the routes, the destinations. Yasmin held a piece of his map, yes, but she didn't understand the intricacies, the hidden pathways, the secret passages. He drained his tea, the warmth spreading through him. Thank you, Aisha. He found Layla sketching in the dim light of their apartment, her face etched with worry. He knelt beside her, took her hand. I won't let her hurt you, Layla, he said, his voice firm. I promise. He opened the desk, pulled out a map of Tangier. He began to mark it, not with the usual streets and landmarks, but with Yasmin's movements, her contacts, her hideout. This wasn't a map of Tangier, it was a map of Yasmin's world. He contacted Omar, showed him the map. I need your help, Karim said, his voice raw. Yasmin is involved in something bigger than we thought. Smuggling, blackmail, she's dangerous. Omar studied the map, his brow furrowed. This is risky, Karim. You're playing a dangerous game. Layla's life is at stake, Karim said, his eyes pleading. I have to do this. Omar sighed. All right, Karim, I'm in. But we do this my way. No more blackmail, no more threats. We expose her. Bring her down through the proper channels. Karim nodded, relief washing over him. He knew Omar's way was the right way, the only way. He sought out Samir, the informant. I need information on Yasmin's operation, Karim said, sliding a wad of cash across the table. Everything you have. Samir's eyes widened. Yasmin is dangerous. You don't want to cross her. I have no choice, Karim said, his voice tight. She has my sister. Samir hesitated, then snatched up the cash. I can get you what you need, but it will take time. Days turned into nights. Karim, Omar and Samir worked tirelessly, gathering evidence, piecing together the puzzle of Yasmin's operation. Layla, inspired by Aisha's wisdom, started attending Narcotics Anonymous meetings. She sketched portraits of the other attendees, capturing their strength, their vulnerability, their shared journey towards recovery. Karim visited Omar's grave, leaving a single red rose on the freshly turned earth. "I won't let you down, Omar," he whispered. "I'll make things right." One evening, a knock on the door. Karim opened it to find Rashid standing there, his face grim. "I know what you're doing," Rashid said, his voice low. "And I want to help." Karim stared at him, disbelief warring with a flicker of hope. "Rashid, the corrupt cop, wanting to help? Why?" Karim asked, his voice suspicious. "I made a mistake," Rashid admitted, his gaze meeting Karim's. "I let greed blind me. I want to make amends." Karim considered his options. He still didn't trust Rashid, but he knew that Rashid's inside knowledge could be invaluable. "All right, Rashid," Karim said, his voice cautious. "But I'm watching you. One wrong move and you'll be answering to me." Rashid nodded. "Understood." The plan came together, a complex web of coordinated movements, timed precisely, each step dependent on the last. Karim, the cartographer, charted the course, ensuring every detail was accounted for, every contingency plan. They raided Yasmin's villa at dawn, a small team of unlikely allies united by a common goal. Karim, Layla, Samir, and Rashid moved through the opulent rooms, their steps silent, their purpose clear. Karim confronted Yasmin in her lavish bedroom, Layla standing beside him, her eyes blazing with defiance. "It's over, Yasmin," Karim said, his voice ringing with authority. "We know everything." Yasmin, caught off guard, lunged for a hidden drawer, pulling out a gun. She grabbed Layla, holding the gun to her head. "Don't move," Yasmin shrieked, her voice laced with desperation. "Or she dies." A tense standoff ensued. Rashid, his gun drawn, hesitated. Karim, his mind racing, saw an opportunity. He pointed to a framed map on the wall, a map he'd given Yasmin as a gift, a map with a hidden compartment, a compartment containing a tracking device. "That map, Yasmin," Karim said, his voice calm. "It's more than it seems. It's your downfall." Yasmin glanced at the map, her grip on Layla loosening for a fraction of a second. It was all the time Karim needed. He lunged, disarming Yasmin, freeing Layla. Rashid, finally making his choice, tackled Yasmin, securing her arrest. Just then, the front doors burst open. A rival gang, tipped off by Samir, stormed the villa. Gunfire erupted, the air thick with the smell of cordite. In the chaos, Rashid was shot, falling to the floor. Karim and Layla, shielded by Samir, escaped through a hidden passage Karim had discovered on his map. They raced through the pre-dawn streets, the sound of sirens fading behind them. They reached the docks, boarded a ferry bound for a new life. Karim held Layla close, the weight of the past lifting, replaced by a fragile hope. As the Tangier skyline receded into the distance, Karim pulled a small, intricately carved wooden box from his pocket. Inside, a single compass, its needle spinning, searching for a new direction. He opened Layla's sketchbook. The last page held a drawing of Omar, his face serene, a faint smile playing on his lips. A young boy approached, handed Karim a folded note. "From Monsieur Samir," the boy said, then disappeared into the crowd. Karim opened the note. It contained a single line. "The city remembers." Karim knew his journey wasn't over. The map of his life was still being drawn, the lines stretching towards an unknown horizon, a future filled with both promise and peril. He looked at Layla, her hand resting on his, her eyes fixed on the rising sun. He knew, whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. He was the cartographer. He would chart their course,